Meet Mer Brewster, and she just might be to you, only another mail carrier, albeit a very smiley, interesting one. But just recently, Mer has become a very successful writer, even though you may not have heard of her yet, winning $22,000 for a few true-life short stories. Mer entered the initial stages of a competition in the hot new writers community that is FieldReport. That's www.fieldreport.com, and she scored so highly in reviews by hundreds of her peers that she came away with a $20,000 prize. This is one of several successive prizes awarded up to a grand sum of $250,000 later this year in a sort of American Idol for true life stories, submitted in over a dozen categories, from love to hate to friends and family, animal beings, that sort of thing. Anyway, like a great many people, Mer has always wanted to be a writer, but she had no outlet for her talent.
You can actually walk around with mail and get it into the right slots most of the time while your head is completely somewhere else. Although I do an awful lot of misdelivering because I write while I'm walking around. They'll come up the next day and say, I know it wasn't you, but I got so-and-so's mail. And I say, no, that was me. And they've gotten to the point now where they're saying, oh, were you writing again?
The brains behind FieldReport is a young, idealistic and very savvy entrepreneur, William Petty, who has lofty ambitions of his own when it comes to the impact he would like FieldReport to have.
We hope that through FieldReport we're doing something really good for the world, through allowing people to express some of the things that have happened to them in their lives that sometimes aren't that easy to express, or sometimes are embarrassing. Our site really allows people to do that in a way that isn't frightening to them, because they can write under a pen name. They can socialize with people under a pen name. They can meet people who have had similar experience. We really hope that we're kind of breaking down walls of human isolation through this site.
Working closely with Petty is Skye Thompson, who explains what he sees as FieldReport's purpose, as well as the secret to success in scoring high with other writers, each of whom is also a reviewer.
I think what it's doing is encouraging people to tell stories better. And, if you don't engage somebody in the first few lines of a field report, the score is not going to be very high. And that's just as simple as that.
In the first round, there were some really interesting stories from some new writers, like this one, from someone in the wine trade who blogs about his work.
I don't write for a living. I guess I do in a way. It's just that I don't get paid for it. I write about wine, and hopefully somebody gets inspired and buys a bottle or two now and then. I don't think I've ever even told anybody that story.
There are a large number of professionals too, like the scriptwriter who loves FieldReport, because instead of making up stories for others to appear in, he can become the protagonist of his own scenario.
I spend my days writing real or imagined stories about other people. A leash was attached to the trailer hitch, and he was bouncing and skidding along the street. I made the driver stop and freed the dog, and suddenly I became deeply involved in trying to keep this injured puppy alive.
There are many professionals who write for a living but do not write the kind of stuff they'd really like to produce. Take this curriculum writer, for example.
Getting the opportunity to write a story or even a magazine article, as I've done in the past, is always a welcome break from the curriculum and a wonderful way to stretch.
Because FieldReport is offering so very much money as a prize for creative talent, Skye Thompson says the idle comparison is inevitable, but it does have, he says, a sound business rationale too.
In some ways, we laugh at that because we don't think it's as flashy and shallow as American Idol. And it is a lot. And when you compare it to, what you can earn, with your hard-earned work as a writer, it is significant. But I think my perspective on it is that, this is the seed money, if you will, to start a new community or to inspire people to gather together at FieldReport. And to me, it's really a question of comparing it to what's the value of that community? What's the value of those experiences that people are going to have when they're together on Field Report?
So, for you to learn more about how you can enter your own field report, visit the site and enter to perhaps win a category or two, and then you'll be able to take part in the run-up to the grand prize. But remember, for founder William Petty and his colleague Skye Thompson, it really isn't all about the money.
That, the Beta Prize uncovered a person like Murr Brewster, who, as a mail carrier for the United States Postal Service for 29 years, hasn't ever been published as an actual writer. She hasn't been sort of, vetted by the publishing industry. She hasn't been crowned this high, lofty social position of writer. And so in that way, we're very much like American Idol. We found this farm girl, if you will, and now she's a star. And I think the world's a better place for it.
For KGNU, this is Claudia Cragg.